Hi dear students, and welcome back to our series and lesson on the part of speech. My name is Basit. This lesson is all about verbs. In this lesson I will teach you different types of verbs that we have in English and also show you how to avoid some common mistake that students make with verbs. Okay, so what is verb? Verb action words that tell what we are doing. Definition of verb is a word which shows an action or a state. What is a state? States mean situation. We have types of verbs: transitive verb, intransitive verb, compound verb, helping verb or auxiliary verbs, linking verbs, regular verb and irregular verb. Okay, so what is action verb? We have two types of verbs: state, action, and sometimes it's called stative or dynamic verbs, but the meaning is same. What the difference between these two? That action verbs expresses physical activities or processes. Like we have a grow, stained, kicked, so these are action verbs. But stative verbs expresses situation, for example, be, have, think, own. For example, I have a large family. Here, I am using stative verb have. That means I am not talking about doing any physical action. I am telling you about situation. A transitive verb always take an object. Clear? Okay, so what is object? In grammar, object is a noun or pronoun that receive the action. For example, I baked some cookies. I rode the bicycle. I moved the chair. So here we have an object, and an object is a noun or pronoun. So here the cookies, bicycle and chair, these are nouns and these are also called objects. These are object because it has nouns: cookies, bicycle and chair. These are nouns. Intransitive verbs are action verbs, but unlike transitive verbs, they don't have an object receiving the action. In simple words, that is a verb that does not have any object. We have some intransitive verbs like live, die, love, cry, run, sleep, sit, stand. For example, the old man laughed loudly. So here, loved is a intransitive verb because it hasn't object. I cried, the book fell, the horse globed, the sun set. So here we haven't any object. We haven't any noun or pronoun after verb. So these are intransitive verbs, and intransitive verbs are verbs that does not have any object. So how we get to know that these are intransitive verbs? So we have the simple formula PATAP, patap. P mean preposition, A mean adverb, T mean time expression, A mean adjective and P mean place. When these use after a verb, it might be intransitive verb. What is regular verbs? Regular and irregular words. Understanding these, you need to know little bit about their background information. In English, only verbs can have tenses: past, present and future. But to make tenses, we change the forms of verbs. Do you know how many forms we have? We have 5 forms: infinitive, present, past and past participle and ing form. For example, to cook. Cook or cooks, cooked, cooked, and cooking. This is regular verbs, but you cannot do with irregular verbs. To go, went, and gone are going. So these are irregular verbs. Another example, to be. Present is MR, past is was, were, third form is been, and ing form is being. You might be thinking how I guess past and past participle form of irregular verbs. Well, the answer is you cannot. There is no rule, you just learn through experiences. Okay, so what is irregular verbs? Regular verbs are those whose past tense and past participle are formed by adding a d or an ed to the end of the verb. For example, base form of the verbs are rule, play, look. So past tense is ruled, played, cooked, and so third form is ruled, played, looked. Irregular verbs, those verbs in which there is not the addition of d and ed. For example, break, broke, broken, run, ran, run, come, came, come, swim, swam, swam, fly, flew, flown, buy, bought, bought. So these are irregular verbs. Compound verbs, every subject in the sentence must have at least one verb, but that does not mean that a subject can have only one verb. Some subjects are greedy as far as verbs go. A greedy subject can have 2, 3, or 4 or more verbs all to itself. When a subject has 2 or more verbs, you can say that the subject has a compound verb. What is subject? Subject is the part which talk about the predicate. What is sentence? Sentence is a group of words which give the complete thought. And verb? Verb is a word which shows an action or a state. State means situation. A compound verb is when a subject has 2 or more verbs that are joined together by a conjunction. Got it? The stress is on the second or on the last part. We give the stress to the second or the last part of the sentence. Example here. Before mixing the ingredients for his world famous cookies, Bobby swatted a fly buzzing around the kitchen and crushed a cockroach scurrying across the floor. So this is example. Here Bobby is subject, swatted, crushed, compound verb. Like in this sentence we have 2 verbs. When 2 verbs used in a sentence, it's called the compound verb. Like same in the one sentence, when the 2 subjects are used in a sentence, we call it a compound subject. So here it is a compound verb because the 2 verbs used in one sentence. And here we have a couple of examples. Like we have the 2 verbs which I highlighted for you. Verbs, helping verbs versus linking verbs. Okay, so what is helping verbs? Help, the main verb, expresses action or state of being. For example, we have eaten. Have is a helping verb and eaten is a main verb. They are used together to express the action. Got it? They are working. Are is helping verb and working is main verb. Helping verbs shows the tenses. Like for example here, when the is, am, are used in a sentence, it's present. Was, were shows past. Will shows future. So are is helping verb and working is main verb. They are used together to express the action. Got it? Helping verbs have no meaning on their own. They are necessary for the grammatical structure of a sentence, but they don't tell us very much alone. We usually use helping verbs with main verbs. They help the main verb such which has the real meaning. There are only about 15 helping verbs in English, and we divide them into two basic groups. Primary helping verbs, they are the verbs be, do, and have. Note that we can use these three verbs as a helping verbs or as a main verbs. Be, am, is, are, was, were, be, being, and being. Have, has, had. Do, does, and did. Modal helping verbs are 10. We use modal helping verbs to modify the meaning of the main verb in the same way. A modal helping verb expresses a necessity or possibility and changes the main verb in that sense. There are the modal verbs: can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, should, must, ought to. What is modal verbs? Modals expresses mood in a sentence. What is mood? In grammar, mood means the attitude of the speaker. With he, she, it, and with a singular noun, we use is. We, you, they, we use are, and with plural noun. Linking verbs. A verb that links or joins the subject with another word in a sentence is called linking verb. For example, Ali was the winner of the race. Was links winner and the subject. Winner renamed the subject. Here, got it? Linking verb: link the subject of words or group of words that identify or describe the subject. Like linking verbs connect the words. Linking verbs can be replaced with similar verbs, be verbs, am, are, be, been, being, is, was, were. Similar verbs appear, grow, seem, stay, become, look, smell, taste, feel, remain, sound, turn. Okay, so difference here. Let's look to the difference between helping verbs and linking verbs. We have more than one verb in a sentence won't be the main verb of a sentence. Linking verbs will be the main verb of a sentence, will identify or describe the subject. Form of verbs: base form and present form in ing form, past form and past participle form. We have the 5 forms. Base form: walk. Present form: present tense, walks. Example: mother and father walks together. Ing form: walking. Example: she is walking. So here these are the examples of the forms of verbs. Past: ed form, she walked. Past participle form, like the third form of the verb, she has walked a lot. So past, present and future.